Guys, today we're going to do what I call a rain review because it is nasty, it is wet here on the west coast that we like to call the wet coast in Vancouver. And I've got my beautiful Alfa Romeo Giulia, and we're just going to take it for a little bit of a spin today because I have the rear wheel drive, also known as the Q2. Now when I got this car, to be honest, I kind of wanted to go with the Q4, which is the all-wheel drive. But when you drive the all-wheel drive, what happens is it's actually, more often than not, in the rear wheel mode. And it's only when it actually needs the grip, or I call gription, the traction, that it goes into the all-wheel drive. So today we're just going to take this thing for a spin. We're going to see how it performs and does with wet roads. The other thing is that it has been very dry here for quite some time. And when you have dry roads, and then it rains, it's got what we out here call Florida ice, and that's where the kind of the oils and some of the exhaust that drips or any of that stuff, the petroleums, they kind of stick on the concrete. It rains, and then the rain lifts it out of the concrete, so it makes it for a slippier drive. And that again is what we call Florida ice. So let's get to it. The first things I wanted to talk about was the windshield wipers. Now this car kind of has an unusual setup, basically how it's laid out. So it's on the right stock here, which is normal, okay? But if you take a look at the lettering, it has 0, A with 1 raindrop, A with 2 raindrops, A being automatic, and then it has the actual wiper modes, which is basically fast and faster. So, or I guess you could call it on and faster. But there you go. So that's the full performance of the wipers. But right here is what I usually run it at. And that's not as sensitive. And then, of course, you can make it a little bit more sensitive with the rain wipers. Now, the rain sensors that are up here are interesting because what I have found is they're very accurate. With the Mazda, and even some BMWs in the past, I actually, with one of my BMWs, I asked them to remove the rear view mirror and put in the new gel that allows it to sense the raindrops. There's actual gel in the device so that it can sense the rain and it makes it, basically work better. So I had some problems with one of my BMWs with it. This car's got great rain sensors. What it doesn't have is the ability to turn them off and use interval with timing. So the Mazda, you can do that. You can put on the rain sensor, or you can also do intervals with time. And this one just has rain sensors, sensitive or not as sensitive, and then you can turn the wipers on and off. But let's see this here. So we're going around a corner. We're going actually pretty fast here, and it's sticking. And again, one of my concerns is that the conditions would, have this car fishtail a bit. This car, of course, has several safety features, which is going to allow me to stick to the road as well. When cars like this, they come standard with anti-slip, and of course it's got traction control. And those are like standard safety features that you come to, expect in a car like this, in any modern car. When you have something like limited slip differentials, that's all about performance. I mean, these got low pro Pirelli tires on here as well, and it's all rim and no tire. And again, that for many people, they're going to feel like that performance is going to take away from the safety. But that's really more about the comfort. You're getting a firmer ride, and if anything, you're feeling the road a little better. Two other things I wanted to talk about with what I'm getting as feedback from driving this in the rain is the sound outside. So this is a very insulated cabin. I drove by that semi truck. Of course, I was talking, you couldn't hear, but there really is, it really blocks out the noise from outside, and it's great. I love that new cars do this. If you look in the underbody of these cars in other videos, like Savage Geese, he actually lifts up one of the cars, and you can see underneath, it's all padded, and it's got that protect sound insulation basically. So that's really nice. The other thing with these cars is the LED lighting. So the LED trimming, and of course I run it with the lights on here. Okay, I think that's always safe to do it during these wet kind of stormy days. but the LED lighting is great. And the last thing I want to talk about when it comes to driving in wet and rainy conditions is what you should always be driving in, and that's having the AC on. So although my temperature here, I could even bring it up to 20 degrees, but the AC is still going to run because the AC is actually a dehumidifier, and I know most people know that. If you press the auto button, the AC will turn on regardless of how you want the heat, because it's set to always be on as a dehumidifier, and that's going to get rid of some of the, the fog that builds up on the car. But here's the other thing. I love this. So lots of cars have this, some don't, and that just totally gets rid of the humidity that builds up here. Okay, this car's really quick and solid at getting rid of the humidity that builds up. So don't forget to subscribe, guys. That's just my rain review. I know it's kind of funny camera work here, but I just wanted to give you an idea of what to expect when you're one of these cars, when you're getting those kind of West Coast downpours. It is a beautiful car and it sticks, regardless if it's rear wheel and not an all-wheel drive. Don't forget to subscribe, guys. Talk to you later.